We'd like to introduce today's guest.
Reuben Wilcock. Now, Reuben works at FutureWorlds at the university, and he also is managing director of Custom Ideas Limited, as well as bringing the product My Jolo to market. So, Reuben, you were actually a student here at the university. What has changed the most since the time you were a student?
Changed the most. So, I mean, a lot of things have changed. I came here in 1998.
Yeah.
I think different types of things have changed. So one of the things that's changed the most probably for me is physically the university, the shape of the university has changed. Down University Road, there used to be just rows of terraced red brick houses. Now obviously they've done loads and loads of buildings.
Lots of buildings,
too. We've got, the nursing and midwifery building, life sciences.
You're building every day, really.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of development. And so that's changed physically a lot.
So, most important question for our students, jesters. Was it still about when you were a student here?
Absolutely. Every single Friday, interesting story. So I did electronics.
Yeah.
All my friends would go there at 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And so what happened was I was stuck in the electronics labs doing my kind of, whatever that kind of stuff. And yeah, exactly. And I'd be sitting there desperately trying to get Tim Fawcett to sign off my book. And then I'd get on the bus, Unilink bus, about 3 o'clock, dash down there. My mates always had the table by the window, the big table. I don't know if it's still there, and had to play a bit of catch up. But yeah, clowns, jesters, always.
Did they still sell jesticles back then?
Always sold jesticles.
And how much were they? That's the key issue.
No, that's a really, really good question. I think, I think they were £5. I think it was
£5.
How much are they now?
£3 now.
Are they £3
yeah.
now? I'm trying to remember. I think it was £4 for a quad vod orange lemonade, which was quite a popular choice.
Don't have those anymore.
They don't have those
I think
anymore.
they might do, but they call them. There's lots of different names for cocktails.
Like Juicy Lucy's, Jokers.
So we definitely had Juicy Lucy's.
They're my favourite.
So it's still going strong.
Still very much going strong.
Good to hear it.
Good.
Anyway, moving on from that.
I know that obviously you spent some time teaching, or you are spending time teaching here, and I know that you took on the role of disability mentor.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could tell me a bit of time about that.
Yeah, so that was quite a long time ago, and what happened was one of the academics, they kind of knew that I'd done very well. So it was when I was doing my PhD, I'd done very well in my undergraduate degree, and they came up to me and said, "Oh, we've got this chap who needs a bit of help with his engineering maths," and so I agreed to help him, and I got involved that way. And over the years, I helped quite a lot of students actually. And it's a really good thing because obviously, if you've got a disability, whether it's a physical or another kind of disability, it's really important to be given the best opportunity to maximise your potential. So it's very satisfying for me to do that.
Brilliant. So we want to talk about one of your products here. So this is the Jula. I'll just get it out of the box so everyone can see. It looks a bit like a USB. Can you explain what it is in 15 seconds using no technical language?
Okay.
And we will stop you if there's anything we don't understand.
Something a GCSE student will understand.
Okay. So I think that's quite easy because it's quite a simple product. So Jula is given to you by energy companies free of charge.
Yeah.
All you do is you press the button, you put it on your thermostat for a week. Okay, then you take the cap off, you plug it into your computer, you upload the results to their website, and it gives you personalised feedback on how to save energy and make your home comfortable.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That might have been 10 seconds actually, I think.
I think you did quite well then.
Yeah, we'll give you that. I think it might have to be more than 15 seconds.
Oh really?
Okay.
We'll see.
So obviously, we've moved into second year housing now, so we can see how this is really useful. But what was your particular inspiration behind it?
So what happened was originally this was effectively a research tool. So I worked with a professor at the university who wanted to try and understand better how people use their central heating, Alex Rogers. And it was really when I helped him develop the device for a research trial that I sort of thought, actually, there's a commercial potential in this because energy companies really want to gain the trust and get into their customers' homes. And by giving this to customers for free, they could do that. It was almost like a Trojan horse. Yeah. So that was the inspiration. It was saying, look, well, here's a research tool, but actually it's got commercial potential.
So obviously it won the British Gas Award in 2013, I think.
That's right.
What do you think sets it apart? Why do you think it particularly won that award?
So the thing about Jula as a product, which I think helped us a lot, when I went to that competition, is that it's very simple. You saw me talk about it in 10, 15 seconds, and anything that you can get across very, very quickly like that, I think is great for those sorts of competitions. I think probably the reason why I had a good chance of winning that competition is I did just an insane amount of preparation for it. I mean, I researched every one of the companies. I think there's about 26 of the companies, up to 5 people from each. I researched every single person that came before I went, all of the panel. So I was 100%. I knew who I was dealing with. I knew exactly what to say to all of them. And that's what you really have to do if you want to have the best chance of winning these things.
Just kind of get in with the judges is kind of what you're saying.
That's what you've got to do. Yeah. The night before, I was at the press launch of Hive, which is British Gas's smart thermostat.
Yeah.
And I was kind of laser targeting all the people I knew. I needed to,
Buying a few drinks for people?
Definitely.
Drinks are flowing.
So I already had a few of the judges sort of, figuring out what Julia could bring to British Gas before the day.
Oh, brilliant.
Now, we know that you sold the company. I think it was to QB. So what made you decide to do that?
So, I think with all startups, it's quite a challenge during the stage where they almost change from one thing to another. Okay. So with Julo, we'd got it to the point, we got it to this point. We got it to the point where we had the device, we had the marketing. We had energy companies wanting to trial the product. They wanted to buy lots of these things, and we'd created the spin out, we'd done the licensing agreements. And suddenly you're going from a company where you need to make, say, 500 or 1,000 or a few thousand of the things to potentially you've got to make 1 million devices, right?
Wow.
So that kind of point of scale is really, really difficult to decide what's the best way to do that. And lots of startup companies, you struggle when you go through these growth periods. And so we had a period of time that we needed to capitalise all the interest, in Julo, and it just felt the right thing to do at the time was to say, look, there's people out there that could do justice to this better now that we've got it to that stage. So that was really why I made that decision.
So are you still involved in Julo now
No.
that QB own it? Or
No,
have you
quite
totally
lucky.
stepped back now?
Step back. So it's what we call a clean break. So
Okay.
what happens is that if it's quite a complicated company, and you've got premises, you've got staff, you've got lots of ongoing projects, you'd nearly always be, you need to work with that company that buys it for a while because there's a lot of handover. Because Julo was a very self-contained proposition, it was quite straightforward. So it meant I could have a clean break.
So
That's quite good, that. Yeah.
So do you miss those days at all, like working in Julo?
That's a good question. I mean, there's something to be said for just that every day. Huge amounts of work, just adrenaline, and exactly what you got to do, and you're massively focused on the goal. And there's something about that only really entrepreneurs kind of experience, and it's like a drug, really. So you just like those, you do miss that feeling, a bit.
So it's kind of, it's your baby. How far do you think you can go? Could it be a household name for energy in the future?
Yeah,
what do you think?
So the thing with Julo is that it really is, it's a self-contained opportunity, really. It's the first step on the ladder. So the idea is, energy companies can send this to their customers, and what it gives them is it gives them a foot in the door. Okay, and that's really what it always was. It was a nice, self-contained proposition. So in terms of getting a lot bigger by its own, it's probably quite unlikely, but it's a great way for companies to get in the door of energy companies, their customers.
Okay.
I know we were really impressed when
Yeah, I just looking at it, it seemed like such a simple idea that seemed to do so much. And we come again from the not tech-based view, so it's probably a lot more complicated than we think. But on the surface of it, it's very easy to understand.
Yeah, so some of the algorithms that were run, that was really the clever, smart part, was that although the device itself, it was just recording the temperature, really. And then what we did was we used existing weather data servers to get the temperature from outside your house at the same time. But what we did with the algorithms was to take all of that data and just infer clever stuff from it, and that was where the real intelligence was.
Okay. So Reuben also works at Future Worlds here. So
can you explain that to us in under 15 seconds?
Say it again.
So Future Worlds, right, is an ecosystem which pulls together all of the pieces, all the components, all the mentors, advisors you need to make your spin-out startup a big success.
And what's your main goal then for Future Worlds? Have you got is there a mission statement?
Yeah, so there is a mission, right? But this really stems from having read about places like Stanford. Okay, so Stanford University, you might not know, but I think there's about 40,000 active companies that can trace their roots to Stanford University.
Quite a big deal then.
Do you know that if you took all of those companies, if they created an independent nation, they'd be the 10th biggest nation in the world, right? That's impressive. Now that's what a startup culture is, and so the goal of Future Worlds is to create that kind of startup culture here. It's going to take time, but that's what we're going to try and get to. So
how are you building this ecosystem? How are you trying to make Southampton a new Stanford, so to speak?
So I think what I've identified is the main thing that we haven't been doing very well here is to pull together all of the people, the advisors, the investors, the experts, the mentors, those types of people in a really, really meaningful way and connect those to the aspiring entrepreneurs that come along. So what's really behind at the core, I suppose, of Future Worlds is that network. And we're spending a lot of time and effort bringing them in, interviewing them, just like you are, me today, and making those accessible to the entrepreneurs that come through our doors.
Yeah, Future Worlds again seems like a really good idea. Like, so again, something simple that just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, it's. I guess what it is it's saying, look, there's lots of different things that make a startup a success. Yeah, but let's bring it all together in one place and let's make it really, really compelling, really high quality, and make it available to everyone.
That's good. So I know we have a couple of your other products here today. So maybe do you want to talk us through a couple of them?
Yeah, sure. So I've had an interesting journey with the products. I'd say some of them. This is probably. Let me think. This is probably one of the first ones. Just very simple things, but you have to learn a lot during this sort of process. This is just a third-party download cable for scuba diving computers that look a bit like that. And we've sold thousands and thousands of those. But this was the first piece of injection molding that I did, this little piece here. And I had to teach myself how to do that kind of thing. The product that really kind of got my company started, which I set up when I did my PhD, was this one, which is the GeoPic 2. And this was actually the first geotagging device for DSLR cameras at the time. And I got a patent on it. So it's the first time you could put this on top of a camera, a DSLR Nikon camera, and every time you took a picture, you'd know exactly where it was taken, like a GPS location. And when I got my kind of big break, when the sort of company suddenly changed direction, was when this was picked up by the world's biggest photographic retailer in the States, which is called B&H Photo Video. So they were suddenly ordering boxes and boxes of these things.
So we kind of think that as sort of standard nowadays, but it's interesting to know actually where that comes from.
It's been a really short period of time. So this is about 10 years ago, and nobody was really doing it. And there was just a small, it was really the amateur and sort of slightly more than amateur photography community that desperately wanted geotagging devices. It was like the biggest, the most exciting thing.
And now every phone has one.
Every phone is built into them, which is why, so we don't sell this anymore, but we did very well out of this.
I suppose the next question is, obviously you've got something like that, you've got the USB cable, you've got the Julo, and this is the Viper, which is light for caving.
For caving, yeah.
Why is that? Why did you come up with so many different ideas? How does it happen with all this diversity?
Yeah, it's quite strange. I suppose if you looked at it, you could say, well, on the one hand, I've done physical products like this, of all kinds of different sizes and shapes. On the other hand, very, very low cost, very high volume consumer products. And now we're doing Future Worlds, which isn't a product at all. It's a service. And I think really what it comes down to is I'm one of those people that looks around and I will spot just stuff that I think needs to be done better all the time, and it is almost a disease, I look at things like these lights and I just think, God, that stand is terribly made. And so it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter whether it's a product, physical product, a service, anything like that. I look at it and I just think, God, someone's got to do this better. So then I just launch, and I love a challenge, so I just want to launch myself at it and see how I can.
So you kind of always you launch yourself at problems and try and find a solution.
Yeah, I launch myself at a problem, or it might not be a problem, but it might just be wouldn't it be amazing if you could make what is normally a rubbish-looking light that you stick on top of your caving hat, and you actually make it out of a block of solid aluminium, and you anodise it like, those maglite torches, and you laser etch them. It's that kind of thing where you say, look, let's go totally overboard and make this the very best it could ever be. And that, for me, is what motivates me, I suppose.
So how do you feel like looking back on the products and seeing the ones that have become quite a massive success?
Yeah, it's good. I'm always striving for the next thing. So I'm actually one of those people that I'm not really happy with anything ever. I'm always thinking I want to do the next. I want to do it better. I wish I could have done that differently. But when you do lay it out on a table like we have here, down here, you sort of think, well, actually, that's quite impressive. These things were sold all over the world. We still sell some of them. Some of them potentially being made in millions of quantities now for the energy companies. So it's really nice to see it there and reflect back on that.
Well, if you're looking for a new challenge, some sort of tech to make our housemates do the washing up would probably be quite useful, I think.
I can tell you, I've got experience with that. It's never going to happen. Forget it. You can't solve.
I'm slowly accepting it. It's taken me almost a year, but I'm almost there. But I'm fighting still.
Keep fighting.
So I presume you've obviously pitched to a lot of people. How would you feel pitching someone like Lord Sugar or even Claude Littler? What do you think they would say?
Yeah, so for me, I don't pitch anything. I try not to put myself in a position where I pitch anything that I don't believe in. Okay, so whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's something like Future Worlds, whether it's something like Julo to energy companies, I won't even go into the room unless I really believe in it. And if I do really believe in it, then normally my passion for it comes across, and that's really what people are looking for, I think. So how would I feel about pitching to Lord Sugar? It actually wouldn't bother me any more than pitching to the head buyer of some big company I'm trying to get into. I don't really attach different level of importance to people just because of their, standing in that way.
So it's been a couple of years now since you won the Royal Engineering Academy Award.
Yeah.
How is that has that opened doors? Do you kind of
People
get to go around and be like, I'm better than you? To people on campus? How does that feel?
Yeah, it's not quite like that. But
I think we know that you would definitely flaunt that if it was you.
I would.
Yeah, so they did give me a very nice picture for the wall. That was good. Royal Academy of Engineering Entrepreneurial Award. And the one thing I'd say so that's a really prestigious organisation, the Royal Academy of Engineering.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're right next to the Royal Society in London. They've got they're Prince Philip House, and they've created this thing called the Enterprise Hub. And the Enterprise Hub is something that actually we took a lot of inspiration from for Future Worlds. So one of the nice things that's come as a side effect of winning that award is that you get invited to all of their events, and you get to network, and you get to, see all these fascinating things are happening. And I've benefited enormously from that kind of network. So
that's brilliant. Well, I think the question that everyone is dying to hear is, how do you have time to eat and sleep?
Yeah.
Just generally do other things.
Yes,
Have
I don't.
a life, yeah.
Basically don't. This is a bad time to ask me that question because it's been very, very busy with Future Worlds recently. This isn't a good thing, all right? So I have basically an unhealthy obsession with work. You can talk to my wife about it. So I have a very supportive wife, which is great, and she,
Probably quite necessary.
She's brilliant. I wouldn't be able to do it without her. But it is. So if you ever ask any entrepreneur this sort of question, what sacrifice have you made, that kind of thing, you will see the pain in their eyes. I've done it many, many times, and it is literally, you just see them drift off to another, because they just remember just what they've given up and the nights and the long. And the truth is that when you're really embedded in doing projects, it's something that you really believe in, that you're trying to get to that end goal, and you're working, 14, 15-hour days, you're doing it every day of the week. It's just, it's like a drug, and it is not healthy, But when you get to the end, the satisfaction is huge.
So the last question I think we're going to ask is, what is the one proudest moment of your professional career? If you could pick just one, what would it be? And just off the top of your head, what first comes to mind?
Okay, off the top of my head, it's definitely selling the company Dulo. It's the first time I'd really sold a company in that way, and it was loads of work, and by the end of it, it was just me that did it, and so it was a massive achievement.
Right, brilliant. Well, thank you for talking for us
Thank
today.
you.
I'm sure all our viewers will have really enjoyed and been interested by what you've had to say.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. So this is probably the last time we'll be filming in the Future World studio. So we'd like to thank them very much for letting us sort of muck around in front of the camera. And also to Alex, who has filmed us and edited us. If you just want to pop around the camera.
Come on,
Alex.
face. We love Alex.
Alex is brilliant. It's not our decision to be losing Alex, so that's come from above our head, and we're not too happy about it, but we'll see.
Anyway, starting next week, we'll be filming with Susu TV, and we'll be reviewing an app to make a student's life easier, and one just for fun. So
we are very much looking forward to working with Susu TV. If you haven't yet, then please follow us on Twitter at uni_Techbyte, and also like the ECS Entrepreneurs Facebook page. Thank you very much for listening.
This has been Techbyte.
Goodbye.